Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 926 is Thursday, I think. Yes, trash day was yesterday. Today is Thursday. More moving, more movers. We did one trip yesterday. Got the rest of the closet. I've still got a bunch of shit back there. That's on my to-do list for later today. Like all empty boxes, box lids. It's like, son of a bitch. But all of that was moved. All the shit that was in my rec room, as far as boxes of cards that I had hauled out there, my back stock room, a lot of that was taken care of. After they get finished for the day, the crew chief guy goes, John's the main guy. John wants to know if we have enough to do tomorrow. And I'm like, yes. Are you kidding me? Of course you do. Come back. Of course, every day they come back. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's like, Jesus. But it's better than me doing it. That's for sure. So today I've got this in the, like, you can't even, like, it doesn't even look any different from this camera angle, but if I moved it, I don't know, can you even? But see, you really don't have much to compare that to, right? And let's see, I've shown pictures, I guess. But in the back corner here, there's a big wire shelf, and then there's a smaller shelf, and then there's shit on the floor. So they'll take all that. They've got to put shelving units together. So so a lot of the stuff's like on the floor because the shelves aren't up. So it's like, yeah, come back tomorrow just so you can move my shelves and put those back together so I can get the cards off the floor. So yeah, I emptied out the back of my car. I know I need to shave when I start getting like hair touching my lips. Time to shave. I got weddings next. I can't believe the wedding is next week. Not my wedding, my buddy's wedding. It's like my wife and I had like a 3-minute break at some point during the day. And I said, we were talking about like the timeline, and I'm like, okay, she's like a scheduler. You know how I am with schedules. Nah, I don't do them. So I'm like, okay, what's the timeline? And I'm like, when is this going in? When is that going in? It's like Wednesday. She's like, so if Wednesday's our first night in the new house, we won't have, because I think the shades are going in Thursday. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I leave on Thursday. So if we don't stay the night on Wednesday, the first 4 nights of the house, I won't even stay in it. So wait, 3, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday would be my first night. So, we failed our inspection yesterday, so that was cool. Damn it, that's really bothering me down here. So, Harlan says, what the F is Threads? I had no idea until about 9 p.m. last night. So I'm going to talk about Threads. If you're not on Twitter, because I know a lot of people in the chat and watching later probably don't do Twitter. So you probably don't give a shit. But if you're on Twitter, I think Threads the way Elon Musk is handling things over on the Bird app, Threads may be the new place to go. So yeah, we failed the inspection, which sucks. It wasn't anything too major. Like, I think, pardon me, that's a term we don't hear much anymore. Pardon me. It's because we're we're just kind of assholes in today's society. We're not polite. We don't say things like, pardon me, excuse me. We don't say excuse me in Wisconsin. We say, oh. It's like aloha in Wisconsin. Oh, and Minnesota. Oh, it used to be, pardon me, excuse me. Oh. Anyway, we failed the inspection, and but it's nothing major. Like, it's not like catastrophic. It's not going to prevent us from moving in, unless they keep failing us. But no, we know what needs to be fixed. We were there with the inspector, not Inspector Gadget. But like small things like for some reason, the steps coming off the screened porch are too close to the property. Like they land too close to the property line. It's like, what? Like there's not enough space between the final step and the neighbor's property. And it must be like just a smidgen, because it's like, what? So we've got to redirect the steps. So that's going to be taken care of today. There's a small, like, basically, it's not even part of it's part of the house. It's at the bottom of the garage steps leading to the basement, where it lands before you walk into the basement. Up on the ceiling, it's open, and that needs to be covered. And then what else was there? Something with the ceiling in the screened porch. Oh, it needs a wall brace because they're actual windows in the screened porch and not just screens. So our contractor says he was there with us, and he's like, oh, that's no big deal. I can take care of that tomorrow. And one of our drywall guys is coming to take care of the piece. Painting, I think, is wrapping up today. Electrical, probably wrapping up today. Oh, our exercise room. Since it's an exercise room, we would have just called it a closet had we known. Since it's an exercise room, there has to be ventilation, which I thought about that. Like when I walked in, it's like, if we're like sweating, I mean, it's not like it's going to get used much, but it might get stanky up in here. So yeah, so HVAC has to come and put a vent in the exercise room. I think that was just, I'm tired. Tired as F. So yeah. I did I moved some of the crap that was in the back of my car. My wife was we went to sushi last week, and we used to like take turns driving. We haven't taken turns driving in like 3 years because there was the COVID year, and then card shows, and like I just have shit and Goodwill pallet shit, like probably in my back seat, which I made a little dent in it yesterday. There's probably like parts of 4 or 5 Goodwill pallets in my back seat. So I threw a lot of cards away. Not like thousands, but probably hundreds. I just pulled up because I wanted to get my card show inventory was in the back of my SUV. I wanted to get that down into the basement. And then in my back seat, there was just a bunch of shit. And like cards had like fallen out of boxes. So I was just picking through a lot of like junk wax. So I just tossed it. If I found a cub, I wasn't looking, I wasn't sorting. I was just, if I saw one surface, like, oh, save the cub. The rest piled trash. So yeah, a lot of just shit, just a bunch of shit. So what else happened yesterday? So I did that. That's about it. Oh, you know what I did last night? So after I got home, took a shower because I was all sweaty. You know, the thing is, so I've got my buddy's wedding next week. And so when I went to get fitted, my buddy was giving me crap because the guy who was fitting me said, well, I don't want, because I've got this weird body. Well, it's not a weird body shape. It's just the beer belly body shape. So like I'm short and plump, right? So my belly sticks out. But I'm short. I'm short. 5'11", which I feel is average. But with my body type, it's probably short because I've got a big belly. Like my belly needs an extra, extra large, but the rest of my body only wants a large to an extra large. But I got to cover that damn beer belly. So anyway, my buddy's giving me shit for my beer belly. He's like, maybe you need to knock 10 pounds before the wedding. Shut up. He's true. He's right. He's correct. But I think that might just come naturally through this process. I've done more manual labor in the last week than I have in the last 3 years. So that's probably a good thing. And it's funny, the more, and I don't know if this is how it goes with many, the more manual, the more like I'm moving around, the less hungry I am. Like if I'm at home just sitting here, shipping and listing and shipping, I like want to go snack on something. When I'm freaking constantly moving around boxes, it's like I don't have time to eat. I don't want to snack. So that's good. Maybe that's why they say you should move around and exercise. Things you should, I mean, I know this. I'm not dumb. I just choose not to live that lifestyle. But I probably should as I get older. I'm not 20 anymore. Where was I going? I was moving around. Oh, I came home last night. And so I took a shower and had a spotted cow in a glass. I was feeling fancy. I'm going to drink my spotted cow in a glass tonight. Pardon me. My fancy glass and my pardon me's. So, and my wife had gone to her mom's house and then had to take a lockbox or something to a house, to a property. And so I'm like, I can watch on the couch like a murder show. So I went and on Netflix, there's a series called, is it called Chasing Killers, I think? Now, I didn't realize there's 3 seasons now. They just released some new episodes. And, there was actually, here I go, bouncing from topic to topic. There was actually I read this somewhere, where if you feel relaxed watching true crime or listening to true crime, you're like psychotic or something. And I'm thinking, well, I enjoy true crime podcasts and television shows, but it's not like I relax to it before bed. Before bed, I'm watching Friends. I'm not watching true crime before bed. So maybe that holds me back. But last night on the couch, it was relaxing. So the one I watched on Chasing Killers was The Railroad Killer, Rafael Resendez Ramirez. Now, this is nostalgic for me. And you're like, what the hell? Why? How does a serial railroad killer, how is that nostalgic for you? Well, he wasn't my uncle. No, it's not that. The railroad killer was striking when I was in high school. So I think I was a junior or senior in high school when the railroad killer, and my small town, Anawan, was split in the middle by a railroad track. And it was, I lived like literally the railroad track was in my backyard. I think that's why my parents probably bought the property and built on that land, because the house I grew up in was smack dab between a national U.S. highway and a frickin' railroad track. And hey, I'm here today. I'm here today. So the railroad track was in my backyard. I'm going to call out my friend Seth because Seth lived like straight shot. Like from my backyard, you could see Seth's front yard. Not anymore. There's a walnut tree, walnut grove. Is that what you would call it? A walnut grove. There was a big field. So when we were kids, it was just land. It was a bunch of weeds. And so, but they usually mowed it. Like the owners of that land mowed it, and it didn't. It's like, why do you have this big swath of land? I don't know if there was ever anything on that property because it was like I didn't live like in center of town, and it's a small town. But it's on the like I grew up on the far west side. Now, when I say far west side, there's let's see, I can count the blocks in my town from east to west. Like on Highway 6, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 blocks. Okay, so it's not like it's this far west. No, you lived on the west side. Okay. West side. I'm used to saying far west because I live on the far west side here. So I don't think there was ever anything on that land. But anyway, they decided to plant walnut trees to like for their probably great grandchildren to, I don't know, be lumberjacks or something. I don't know. What do you do with walnuts? I guess the wood, you could sell the wood to cabinet makers or whatever. So anyway, Seth was deathly afraid of the railroad killer because he lived close to the railroad tracks and he was on the loose at like in the summer of our senior year, I think. And he would at like freaking nightfall. It was like what was the scary movie? The town that dreaded sundown. Was that Texarkana? Am I getting that one right? I should know. Me and my true crime. But Seth feared sundown because the railroad, Rafael Resendez Ramirez, and we knew his name eventually. We knew who it was. And he was, oh my God, he was scared. So I watched that, a little nostalgic. Like I texted my high school friends, none of them. I have a good memory of stupid shit. So we have a small group chat. There's like 5 of us we all went to high school together, which 5 of 35, by the way, is like, what would that be? Like almost 20% of my graduating class. I think that 17% probably. What's 5 divided by 35? That was my graduating class. 5 of us are in a text string. And they're like, none of them remembered. But I remember stupid random shit like that. But also I lived on the railroad track and Seth lived on the railroad track. So I think maybe it's nostalgic for me. What's going on in the chat? We're going to talk about Threads today. I had no idea what the hell Threads was until about 9 p.m. last night. In fact, I saw Darren Rovell tweet something about, I'm going to the social media app that rhymes with Reds. And I'm like, Keds? What the hell? I have no idea what he's talking about. And then in one of my group Twitter chats, somebody said, hey, I just joined Threads. I'm like, oh, Threads rhymes with Reds. That's what Rovell was talking about. Shane Koopman's in the house. What's happening? Paul Heath, good morning. Angel Baby Cards is here from Central California, up bright and early. Let's see. David, good morning. Kyle, good morning. I hope you devised a plan for alien proofing the new card. I didn't think about what if we have an alien invasion. Somebody mentioned a meteor. I had not planned for a meteor hitting my card room, nor an alien invasion. I did plan a bear attack. We talked about that the other day, but aliens, I'm not prepared for. Brian Dean in the house. What's happening? Donald Davis, good morning. Brian, by the way, gave me a great link on Amazon for some card displays. I went into my office yesterday to look, and I've got to wait until I get my TV up so I know like what it looks like. And I don't want to go through the time of blue taping the wall because I'm gonna let my wife like help me with that because I'll fuck it up. So before I buy anything as far as card displays go, I wanna because I almost pulled the trigger when Brian sent me that link. I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I want. And I almost like, ooh, I can save if I buy two. I want to, but I didn't. Thank God, because then when I went over to look, I'm like, I don't know if I can fit two of these on the wall because the door swings this way. I'm gonna have a big TV in there on that wall, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'll figure it out once I get the TV hung. Donald Davis, good morning. Herman in the house. We've got Greg here. Korean Cardboard Dan, what's happening? Just watched the first episode of American Gladiators doc. Downloading the rest. Oh, interesting. What platform is that on? I'm not like American Gladiators is nostalgic for me. Like I remember waking up. Was it on? I think it was on Saturday mornings because 10 o'clock. My cartoons were on from like 8 to 10. 10 o'clock, WWF Superstars came on, and 11 o'clock was American Gladiators. So a little nostalgic. And then at noon, World League Football back in like 1991. But a documentary like American Gladiators, it's like, cool. But a documentary, I would be interested. I would be interested in watching a doc. Harlan says, what the F is Threads? Threads, popular new social media app. By the way, it sounds like, it's not like if you read the description or looked at the thumbnail, it's like, is this a commercial for some app? It probably sounds like it, but no, it's not. I'm just pushing it because I think it might be the next new thing. So no, I'm not getting any affiliate links. I'm not getting any kickbacks. They're not a sponsor, nothing like that. TD Sports Cards, good morning. James says, still got the Goodwill pallet in your car. I've got parts of many Goodwill pallets in the back seat of my car. I've got a giant box of, I think it's football cards, and there's some modern stuff. I got to go through it because I think there's some like superstars in there. And it's just too damn heavy. So I'm like, I've got to like pull cards out, put them in boxes, and so yeah, and I have a feeling another Goodwill pallet might be coming up in the next week or so, just because I have plenty of time to go buy another Goodwill pallet. I can't pass on them. I feel like if I pass on one, I'll lose them forever. So I feel locked to these Goodwill pallets, which is a good thing. I mean, even a bad Goodwill pallet is profitable, so I can't complain. Hall of Fame card collector, good morning. I am selling a lot recently. Good to hear you. I had an awesome 4th of July. I had a better than it was probably, well, I've got the numbers right up here. I think it was a top 5 day over the last 30 days. Let's see. Did it beat that day? Oh, wow. It beat that day. Oh yeah, by $20. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it was the 5th. It was in the top 5. It was the 5th highest sales day dollars, 4th of July in the last 31 days. That's pretty unbelievable for in my, because I haven't really added much inventory in my eBay store in the last week. I didn't do any promotions. I didn't even send links out on Twitter or anything. I didn't do any sales, nothing. And I still had the 5th highest sales day in the last 31 days. Yesterday was a dud, though. Yesterday was terrible. It was about 60% of my goal. So yesterday sucked. But, I mean, it's like, well, yesterday sucked. But, I mean, basically what I did yesterday was what I thought I would do 4th of July. So I guess I can't complain because it all ends up averaging out. Let's see. Hall of Fame card collector says, but is there a way on eBay to designate which cards came from what collection? There is a way. I choose not to do that because I don't care. It's just unnecessary busy work. You could do it through SKU. There's different ways. I'm trying to think. I had started doing it by I was putting like in the title. So if I bought I bought a bulk lot at the Madison Card Show in January, I would use 4 characters in the title and I would put WI01. So then I could go back and search by title WI01 and then I could add it up. But guess what? I never did because I don't care. It all the money goes in. Okay, this is what I spent in the month on inventory. This is what I made in revenue. So that's how I designate it. Sometimes it's a good exercise. Like I do enjoy it as far as sometimes when it comes to content, like, hey, I spent $100 in the dollar boxes and here's how much I made, because people love that kind of stuff. I don't do it often enough. I'll probably do something like that with the National just because it's, you can get some really good stuff. MKB man, good morning. Colton Cowser got his first hit last night. I celebrated by picking up some of his cards from your store while watching the game. Thank you. I saw all of a sudden, I'm like, did Colton Cowser, I knew he got called up, but all of a sudden I had a run on Colton Cowser cards in my eBay store last night. And I'm like, oh, he must have did something. Angel Baby says, holy crap, average height in the U.S. is 5'8". Oh, I thought the average height was like 6 foot. Okay, so I guess I'm taller than average. Ziggy No in the house. Cheers. I'm on to the mug. Cheers to Ziggy No. U.S. Sports Cards. Dan in the house. Good morning. Did you sign up for Threads? Yes, I did. Guess what I am on Threads? At 1 million Cubs. My goal was, I'm such a numbers whore. So I'm laying in bed. Like, I downloaded the app in bed and I start just playing around with it. And I start getting, it's like every notification, it's like, ooh, another one. And I'm like, I'm not going to bed until I hit 100 followers. And I failed. I think I was only at like 60 some when I went to bed. But I woke up, I had a lot of new followers. I still don't think I'm at 100. Dan just followed me. You get a follow back. A lot of people followed me. Follow backs. Okay, so where am I at? 90. So I'm getting close. I've got 90 followers on Threads. So, we're going to talk about Threads today. So I'm on Threads. Flawed Thinker, good morning. Where are we at? Angel Baby, just microwaved a hot cup for today's live chat. Victor, good morning. Mr. Smith is here. The movers are coming, and I think they're coming at 8:30 again, which what time? They showed up a little early yesterday, like 8:15, 8:20. I don't know if we'll go that long today, but if they come early, we'll just cut the show. Mark Marinello, good morning. Don't look now, but my Metsies have won 4 in a row. Still behind 9 teams, though. Mark Hoyle, good morning. Cubs won another exciting game last night. And, of course, they're playing the Brewers, so I can't watch it. I mean, what time was the game on? Was it a day? I can't even remember if it was a day game. I think it was a night game. Or maybe a late afternoon game. Hell, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have watched it anyway. Let's see. But I would have watched 2 nights ago. 4th of July, I guess that would have been. Dan says, I think the aliens will have some cool cards for trade. They might even want the Blue Jays. I had to move those goddamn Blue Jays. I looked up because they were on the top shelf up here. Not because they're top shelf cards. And I'm like, I'm going to have to move these effing Blue Jays cards. 20,000 goddamn Blue Jays cards. Thanks, Chad. Some Chad dude in a Facebook group. Oh, I've got 50,000 Cubs cards. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I'll start sorting Blue Jays. And 6 months later, I'm like 20,000. I'm like, hey, let's just do a trade now. I've got 20. Oh, I still have to sort my Cubs. I've got them. I just have to sort. I'm like, what do you think we've been doing the last 3 months? I don't think it was 6 months. I think it was a couple months. I'm like, what the frick have you been doing, you asshole? Chad. Go to hell, Chad. And your effing Blue Jays cards. So I had to move them. And every time I put a frickin' Blue Jay box on the shelf, I'm cursing. F you, Chad. Fucking Chad. Okay. Serenity now. Dan says the American Gladiators doc is on Netflix. Okay, cool. Let's see. As I recall, 14 years ago, all I heard via the hobby was total trash talk about those yellow 91 baseball cards. Oh, yes, the 91 Fleer. You still hear trash talk about 91 Fleer. Thing is, you really don't see them much now for some reason. Thoughts? Because they're junk. Most people have thrown them away by now. Yeah, they are garbage. They are the epitome. 1991 is the epitome in garbage cards. And I know people don't like it when you say junk wax and all that, but it's kind of true. They're kind of garbage. 90 Donruss, that's another one. When I open a box and I see yellow and red, I'm like, ugh, not this again. But I will tell you something about, I was having a conversation earlier this week with somebody, a dealer that will be set up at the National. And he was talking about a collection that he bought in preparation for the National. And it was like loaded with 2000 to like 2015. I think that was the year for range, somewhere in there. Maybe it was 2005 to 15 or something. I'm like, that's good stuff. And when I say good stuff, you're not going to get rich, but a lot of those singles, and especially when you're talking about volume selling on eBay, those years, like, I don't like using the terms under or overproduced because we really don't know. Well, we know 1991 Fleer was overproduced. But 2005 to like 2015, actually probably 2012, 13, 14, by 15 it was starting to ramp up. Especially like, so I was finding boxes, and I've shared these thoughts before. Cooperstown, Panini Cooper, like a lot of people poo-poo Panini, but Panini Cooperstown, especially like the cards of Hall of Famers, are easy $1.50 sellers on eBay. I found Topps made some like American Pie, Super Teams, I think 2002. I had a huge stack of 2002. I think it was 2002 Super Teams. Freaking gone. People love those cards because those weren't even like Topps, Panini, Bowman. Those were like smaller sets. So when I find like in a Goodwill pallet or a bulk lot stuff from the early 2000s, I'm like, I get a little giddy because I know that's good $1.50 inventory for my eBay store. 91 Fleer, no. Every once in a while, I'll sell a 91 Fleer card out of my eBay store. Every once in a while. Let's see. Brian says they come in different sizes. Yeah, I'm going to check those out. Once I get the TV installed and I know what space I'm working with, then I can put the order in. John says, late again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. Let's see. George in the house. He doesn't need no threads. 91 Fleer. Muscles and what'd Dan say? Muscles and Mayhem, an unauthorized story of American gladiators. Interesting. Cooter, what's up? The Casey's Pizza was me. What? Okay. I can forgive because he says he still hasn't found the one that makes taco pizza. You don't have taco pizza? Well, it's Oklahoma. So maybe Casey's Pizza is kind of like McDonald's. In different countries, McDonald's has different menus. Maybe Casey's Pizza has different menus because I assume there's not too many pizza places in Oklahoma making taco pizza. It's like a Midwest thing, which legend has it was created in the Quad Cities. Which city of the quad, I don't know, but one of the quad cities. Okay, let's go to Casey's website. Casey's, get your damn taco pizza in Oklahoma. Casey's General Stores. Because you can go on their website and you can, let's see. Let's do an Oklahoma City zip code. Oklahoma City zip. I found an interesting little tidbit about zip codes I tweeted out yesterday. 73008. Okay, so we want to pick up some taco pizza. 73008. Oh, damn, Papa. What the fuck? 73008. That says Bethany, Oklahoma. Good enough for me. Hey, there's one 2.4 miles away. Yes, let's start this order. There's a lot of Casey's in Oklahoma City. Okay, menu. Pizza. If you have barbecue pizza here, let's just look. Single topping pizza, Bethany, Oklahoma. Pepperoni, cheese, Canadian bacon, beef, and sausage. You don't even have the we have like a barbecue chicken pizza, but there's onions on it and it sucks. They used to, back in the day, they used to have a barbecue and it was just barbecue and it was freaking delicious. Okay, specialty pizza. Oklahoma, Casey's. You have a barbecue brisket pizza. I guess that makes sense. You have a taco pizza. Cooter. They have them in Oklahoma. Cooter, what's your zip code? And we can look it up on the Casey's website. Dan says, a week or so ago, you mentioned you were going to go live with Ty. When was that expected to happen? I think like 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I'll have to follow up with him. Hey, thought we were going live. He's busy. I'm busy. Usually at night, though, I can do a primetime live. Remember that show, Primetime Live? It was I don't think it's like I would enjoy that show today as an adult, but as a kid, as soon as I heard Hugh Downs come on, it's like, oh, it was like kind of like the of 60 Minutes. Now I turn like, oh, 60 Minutes is on. It's like, oh God, I've turned into my parents. Tracy, good morning. Victor says a great Cubs win. What is Threads? Threads is a new social media app. It's kind of like if Instagram and Twitter had a baby. It's kind of like, there it is, Herman Answers. It's an Instagram affiliated app. Yeah. It's basically like Twitter. And with the way Twitter's going, we might not have Twitter. Elon Musk is like bought it to kill it, apparently. Tracy, good morning. Card hobbyist in the house. Tom Coleman, what's happening? Hopefully it's not the movers from the movie moving. I know. By the way, Tom, I was cleaning out my car. I found some more stuff for you because I know you're a cup fan. I found some cups. Let's see. Angel Baby card. Don't like the Blue Jays. I wish somebody would like the Blue Jays because I've got a lot of damn Blue Jays cards I need to get rid of. Rich says, I sure hope so. Twitter is becoming a bleep show. It is. Geez, people. 52 watchers, 11 likes. We're barely over the Mendoza line. We're at 18 and 57. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. The cards from the dead point in the hobby, which you were mentioning, are looked at and are good for many people finishing their collections. Yeah. And I thought, and Rich calls it kind of a dead period, and it was. And I think that's the term I used in the conversation I had. Initially, I thought it was just a dead period for me. Usually we look within, our own experience and make judgments based on our own life experiences. And my own life experiences in that era, 2000 to 2013, 14, I wasn't really into cards that much. I dabbled. The early part of the 2000s, I was in college, so they were hidden away in a closet. If I brought a girl to my apartment, I didn't want her to think I was a nerd collecting baseball cards. And then as I got older, I didn't give a shit anymore. And it's like, hey, honey, look at this. Isn't this cool? Yeah, real cool. But then I didn't collect much, and then I was working, and I was like, I think I have like addictive personality. I'm addicted to cardboard. I was addicted to like I would broadcast hundreds of games a year. And I was just constantly working. When I went to work at the university, I was school full time, work full time. I got 4 hours of sleep, not healthy. Now it's back to cards. But that was a dead period for me. And I thought it was, okay, well, if it was a dead period for me, it must be a dead period for everybody, which usually is not the case. But I think it was the case for the early 2000s. Like the hobby was a dead period. Maybe not dead, but it was on life support, maybe. Lots of censoring on Threads already, just FYI. Really? What are they? If they're censoring politics, I'm all about that. I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. If they want to censor the Reds and the Blues, I'm all for it. Censor both sides. If they're censoring like stupid shit, I'm not cool with that, but I'm okay with politics censoring. Grinding for good. Good morning. Mark Marinello says my top set ends at 1991. Both baseball and football. The last year, tops had gum. Let's see. Angel Baby says every time I find a brand or limited series baseball set, Texaco, Milkbone, M&M, they're always popular. Yeah, those like box sets, they're garbage. Like as far as selling them whole, like if you have a box set of Woolworths cards from 1988, like you can't sell that for $1, but you can their 40 card set, put it on eBay, and you'll move several because player collectors. So I'm a bit I used to dread getting those in either a Goodwill pallet or a bulk buy. And now it's oh, this is easy eBay inventory. $1.50, copy paste, boom. Let's see. Angel Baby says I pick my collector battles too. John Evans says if Elon's breaking Twitter is Threads a must have, but Bo, Collects is now sending me notices for their postings. Are you seeing any of their traffic? I think they have something serious. Like emails? I don't know. I don't really read emails. If anybody sent me an email, they know that. Let's see. TD says bought 2 2023 Top Series 1 blasters. Best pull was a Wander red foil that's centered. Great pull if it gets the big PSA 10. Nice. That is a big hit. Mark Hoyle, Rich, oddball and off-brand cards from the 50s and 60s sounds like another show idea. There you go. It was a Future Stars Wander. Nice. So we're at 43 minutes. Let's start talking about Threads. So Threads is a new social media app. As I mentioned early in the show, the first inkling I heard about Threads was Darren Rovell tweeted on Twitter that said, I'm on the new social media platform that rhymes with red. And I'm like, Reds. And I'm like, I don't know, what the hell is that? Keds? It's the only thing I could think of. I didn't think of Threads. So I didn't think anything of it. And I'm like, oh, is this one of those new social media platforms? Oh, they're censoring us, so we're going to go create our own. One of those. So I wasn't sure what they were talking about. Then in my Cubs chat group, somebody said, hey, I just joined Threads. And I'm like, oh, Threads rhymes with Reds. That's what Rovell was tweeting about. So I checked it out. It's owned by Meta, the Instagram, Facebook ownership. And you can sync your Instagram up. The only thing I'm struggling with is finding people to follow. I wish I could pull my contact. Most social media apps is sync your contacts list. I think they released this early, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fixes along the way because it literally was released yesterday. Yesterday was day 1 of the Threads social media app. So I'm on there, 1 million Cubs. So check it. It's Threads. It's a lot like Twitter. But what I noticed about Twitter, like you're either like if you're on social media, if you're not really on social media and you're watching or listening to this, you're like, I don't give a shit. But if you're on Twitter or Instagram, it seems like it's kind of a mix. It's almost like I mentioned, it's like Instagram and Twitter had a baby. There's a little DNA from both sides. And what I've noticed with Twitter and with Instagram separately, you're either like team Twitter or team Insta. And you really don't spend much time on the other platform. Like I'm on Insta, but I don't think my last Instagram post, and like I'll just go in spurts of posting on Instagram. And I see I don't even know when my last so the last time I posted a picture of that cute puppy dog that was at the Madison Card Show on June 18th. It's been almost a month since I've posted anything on Instagram. But Twitter, I'm on Twitter a lot. So it's got little, and what I noticed about Threads was I'm scrolling through and I'm like finding people and following people and all that stuff. And what's this? Profiles you know. See others you're following on Instagram that you're not following on Threads yet. Follow the same accounts. Has no suggests. So I think there's still a lot of kinks in here. But I'd love to like find people. It's not easy to find. Like I am not good with, unless I'm specifically looking for angel baby cards. But if it's like sometimes I'll go to somebody's like who's on here that Denny's cards. Let's go to Denny's cards. And I bet he's got 184 followers. Wow. Let's go to see his followers. And I bet I find people that so far I haven't. But I bet there's somebody on here that's like, oh, I would have followed them if I knew they were on here. Referee Brandon Tolley. There you go. He's a wrestling referee and he's a big collector. So I felt like I wouldn't think to search for him, but he's a good follow on Twitter. And what I've noticed, people on Twitter are active on Threads in the first 12 hours, I guess. And people on Instagram are also active. And so, Dr. Collectible, I actually met him at Collecticon down in Dallas. Awesome dude. He's big on Instagram, but I don't think he's on Twitter. But he's on Threads, and he made a comment, something like Instagram is like the day, and then or Instagram's the party, and Threads is the after party. And I'm like, that's kind of what it looks like. So if you choose to download the Threads app, I am on there, of course, at 1 million Cubs, just like all my other socials. This is not a paid endorsement commercial. I'm not getting kickbacks or affiliate links. I just think that this it could be a Twitter replacement, because Twitter is like going down the drain. I love Twitter. I've been on Twitter since like 2008 or 2009, whenever the hell it came out. And I've always been a huge Twitter because it's just so easy. And you just type in random thoughts. And we all know how I get off on tangents, and that's what Twitter is. Twitter is just a bunch of people just going off on tangents. That's why I like it. Threads looks to be the same. Todd says, thanks for the Threads review explanation. Appreciate it. Now do I join? And that's like a personal preference. I don't know. I would say if you are on Twitter and like Twitter, check it out. It's more like when I say it's like Instagram and Twitter had a baby, it leans more towards Twitter, but it's like Instagram owned. So it's got a little Instagram in it, but it's for the most, it looks a lot like the app itself If you're on Twitter and you're familiar with Twitter, you will pretty much be able to navigate threads as normal. It's it's much like Twitter. Um, so let's see. So here's what can you see? So that's what threads looks like. And it's got, you can I'm going to like obvious shirts, and then you can reply, and you can retweet, but it's called reposting. And then this thing says, oh, and then the little arrow, you can add to your story like Instagram. So you can have a story. Oh, you can even tweet. Okay. Harlan's on threads. Oh, the card hobbyist is on threads. There you go. Joe Caprino. Here we go. Ooh, am I at 1,000? Oh, am I at 1,000 or 1,000? 100? Oh no, I'm still shy. I'm 97 followers. So I think threads could be, I mean, hell, it could be like the next Google Plus. Want want, because you think, oh, a new social media platform backed by Google, it's got to be good. Want want. But I think this might be with the if they launched this when there's no, like, people aren't, the biggest gripe about Twitter is we need an edit button. When that was the only gripe about Twitter, and launching something like this probably wouldn't have went over well. But when Elon is like doing all kinds of crazy shit that people are like, what the hell's going on? And there's really not another social media platform like Twitter. I like Twitter. I'm not just going to jump ship and go to Instagram, because I don't like Instagram. Facebook. It's like, it's Facebook. Twitter is its own unique thing. There's not much like it. Let's see. Angel Baby says, just a thought, just like last season, we're kind of being faked out on who's really going to the World Series. My read is staying still unsure. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully the Cubs are going to the playoffs, but they've got some ground to make up. Card Hobbyist says, I actually liked Google Plus. It was good for the slow conversation like a forum. I don't think I was ever on. I think I joined it, but I don't think I ever used it. But it's pretty wild how many people are already on threads, like in the first day. I wonder if there's got to be a social threads app. Let's see if there's any articles from today. Let's see. So there's a lot of articles already. CBS News, Meta launches Threads early as it looks to take on Twitter. Axio says Instagram Threads app launches early as friendly place. Fox Business says Zuckerberg says Threads, Instagram's new Twitter-like app, launched with 5 million users. Elon Musk response. Oh, we got to check that out. New York Times, Threads, what to know about Instagram's Twitter killer app. And the Financial Times says Meta's Threads is a throwback to the giddy early days of Twitter. And that's a pretty good headline, because it's this new shiny thing. Will it last? Will the new shiny last? Or is it just like, we're all excited, we're all happy on Threads, but how long is that going to last? Oh, come on, close that. Let's see. Musk responded to the platform's launch in several posts on his own platform, tweeting, it is infinitely preferable to be attacked by strangers on Twitter than indulge in the false happiness of the hide the pain Instagram. So yeah, let's check out what's old Elon saying. I used to like Elon Musk, and now he's just a freaking weirdo. Let's see. Elon. I don't see anything. I don't see any tweets from Elon about what was just mentioned. Okay. Let's see. TD Sports Card says, my pick so far, Braves, Rangers for the World Series. Orioles are my wild pick. I like the Orioles, man. What I like about the Orioles is they've got this youth, talent, chemistry, synergy. I love that combination. The Cubs had it in 2015 and 2016. It's like they're too young. They're too young and hungry to get caught up in what they're playing for. I think the pressure, especially when it came to the Cubs in their long World Series drought, there was so much pressure. And the Cubs would sign all these veterans that knew the history. And, they're veterans and like it's just different. But when you're 21, you're a rookie, you're a second year player, and you don't know the pressures yet of Major League Baseball and the grind. You just go out and play a game every day. And there's a lot to that. There's been a lot of teams that had that. The Mets, I think, are a good example in the mid-'80s. And that's one thing that I compared the 20-teen Cubs to the 80s Mets. And I thought in 2016, I hope this isn't the only rodeo, the only main event. And it was, just like the 80s Mets. So much talent. Oh, dynasty. There were dynasty talks. And it didn't come out to be. Because it's baseball. It's tough. And then you got that pressure. Let's see. But I like the Orioles because of that youthful talent they have. They've got a lot of talent. They've got a lot of youth. They haven't been through the grind, the rigors of Major League Baseball, the pressure. They're just going out and playing a game right now. And I like that. So I like your Orioles pick. Angel Baby says, TD, but that is exactly what kind of happened last season. Then they pivoted into Astros versus Phillies. So it's going on an hour. I'm going to get ready for the movers. Day 3. I'm sore, tired. I'm hungry. I need more coffee. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Link to my eBay store in the description. I did add some of I added all the Cardinals cards from the London series set. The Topps UK London series set. Cubs are mine. Cardinals could be yours. So those are in my eBay store. Check them out. Buy 7 or more, 25% off at checkout. All that good stuff. We're on Facebook at Hobby Evolution. Type in Hobby Evolution, and our Facebook group is there. I'm on Threads at 1 Million Cubs, so join me there. And that's what I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Thursday, and we'll be back. It'll be the last Free-for-All Friday in this room tomorrow. So be sure to be here. The last Free-for-All Friday in this room. That's a bit hard to believe because there will not be a Free-for-All Friday next week because I'll be out of town. So in 2 weeks, we'll be back in the new space. So, okay, I'm done rambling. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.